A great pleasure to welcome to What's Next, Rashid Tar-Mahomed, the Managing Executive of Products and Services and Postpaid within the Consumer Business Unit at Vodacom South Africa. Hello, Rashid. Welcome to you. How are you doing?
Hi, great, Aki. Thank you very much for having me.
Listen, you've got a very fancy title there and a very long title. What is it that you do at Vodacom?
So essentially at Vodacom, so it's two parts, right? I lead products and services. So I service the entire consumer business unit from a products and services perspective. That's kind of dealing with what propositions we're wanting to deliver and talking to the factory, which is IT and network and all of those. But along with that, also I'm responsible for postpaid. And so, two predominantly big towers within Vodacom is prepaid and postpaid. And so the entire postpaid business, line of business, revenue lines, all of that, I kind of lead from that perspective as well.
Wow, that's a massive portfolio you've got on your hands.
It is.
I can imagine that it comes with its own stresses because it's something that we all rely on in our day-to-day lives and communicating and using the devices, etc. Being connected to a network like Vodacom. So interesting that I see that you've really transformed your postpaid portfolio. I mean, compared to what it was 2 years ago, even a year ago and 3 years ago, there's literally been a massive transformation. So why has Vodacom transformed its postpaid portfolio? And I really want to understand how this new offering aligns with the evolving customer expectations and market dynamics, because clearly you're listening to what your customers are saying.
Absolutely. So thanks, Aki. So having stress, that goes with the job. You can see the gray hairs and all of that. I need a bit of dye and makeup.
I didn't want to say anything.
Yeah, but I think it's also it keeps us hooked and motivated to do this for the customer. So just starting off, Vodacom's decision to revamp its postpaid portfolio was driven by a clear need to simplify customers' choice, deliver great value in a challenging economic environment. And when we look at the research, customers were overwhelmed by too much of options, too much of choice. We think that customers want a whole range of options and choice, but the reality is that too much of choice leads to anxiety, and all they want is clarity, affordability, and relevance. So we took a step back and said, how do we deliver value to our customers that's meaningful? And so that's where the new Red Core plans were born. This reduces complexity by offering just 4 plans. We did have 10 plans in this portfolio. We went down to 4 plans. It is designed with simplicity in mind so that, it's easy to understand. It's packed with lifestyle benefits like funeral cover, device insurance, and entertainment subscriptions.
Okay, so I mean that's a big move, and thank you for listening to us customers, because, and I guess I get where you were coming from before. You had to try and cater and tailor for everybody, but that in itself causes confusion. And I love the way that it's been simplified right now, and it's great for that you've really addressed this. So well done to you and your team. But the reality is that when you look at the economic pressures that are facing many South African consumers today, I mean, the market is taking strain. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
What specific pain points did Vodacom aim to address through the simplification of these Red Core plans?
Yeah, so the simplification directly addresses affordability, decision fatigue, like I spoke about, and the need to deliver meaningful value for our customers. Customers are struggling with high rising costs continuously and unclear contract structures. So by streamlining this portfolio, we made it easier for users to select the plans and match their budget and the lifestyle that they have. And so each plan includes tangible benefits. Apart from the connectivity elements of voice and data that we've inherently had always, we've understood the importance of certain services within what customers find meaningful. And through the desire to deliver value for our customers, we've incorporated these services such as funeral cover up to 20,000 Rand, free device cover for 2 months to see if it works for them, entertainment services like Amazon Prime Video that helps customers cushion the financial strain while still enhancing their day-to-day experiences.
So you're adding that kind of those value elements
Yeah,
that make a difference to my life, and at the same time you're delivering a service to me as a customer, which is great. I mean, those are serious negotiations that you guys have been working on in
absolutely.
the background,
Massive
and and
partnerships
and
too.
and you've also, yeah, I mean, we're talking about big stuff with Amazon Prime, etc. And when you look at these Vodacom streamlined postpaid approaches, right? How does Vodacom differentiate itself and deliver these unique value to high value customers, for example?
Yeah, so in terms of the red value or red core simplification, it's not just about having fewer plans. I spoke about 10 plans going on to 4 plans, delivering simplicity, all of that. But it's also about delivering this extraordinary value that customers value in these trying times. Now, if you look at MVNOs today, and there's dime a dozen MVNOs popping up all over the show, they often compete on just price alone. Where Vodacom, we're trying to change the game. We're looking to integrate lifestyle rewards, insurance, entertainment into our plans, and the things that really matter to customers. So, looking at Vodacom's brand positioning as Mzansi's preferred 5G network, combined with our Red Rewards platform, our loyalty ecosystem, and that's, by the way, customers can access that today through VodaPay. This creates a differentiated experience that MVNOs and other telcos would struggle to
I
match.
would imagine, Rashid, that these are things that you are constantly evaluating, right? I mean, probably next year we'll see an even more refined product version of what is out there today and more value that you're adding to your customers. So when you look ahead, Rashid, what's next for Vodacom postpaid strategy? And are you planning to extend the simplification philosophy? Because I really like what you guys are doing. Can it be simplified, or are you going to simplify it further to other product lines or other customer segments, for example?
So absolutely, Aki. I think this is not just a once-off. It's an iterative process that we go through, and the simplification strategy is it's part of a broader transformation that we've embarked on. So future plans, this kind of streamlined approach would continue and evolve, and we'd look at the rest of our contract plans, top-up plans, hybrid, what we refer to, as well as evolving and integrating a big part of loyalty and the rewards ecosystem to drive deeper engagement with our customers. So you'll find all our lines of business. How do we integrate loyalty and that reward system throughout? There's also a focus on integrating postpaid with other verticals within the business. So, home connectivity, which is a big thing, from fiber or fixed wireless access, financial services, digital lifestyle. So what we're trying to do is we're creating a holistic techco proposition. So it's no longer just telco, voice minutes, and data. It's a techco proposition that goes beyond connectivity. So I'd encourage you to kind of keep tuned and watch the space for the evolution and what's next to come.
Yeah, look, I would imagine that, and of course, with the recent deal that you guys have done with Massive, I think that that's going to add further elements to your strategic way of thinking. And it's always interesting, I love analyzing your CEO Shamil Jusuf's annual results, and I've been interviewing him over the last few decades. It's been amazing to see how the shift has gone from how customers are using data now, more intensely and more data than ever before versus voice. I mean, people are still using a lot of voice and SMS. I think those are still great services, but obviously when you looking at data and how much data people are using, you've got to kind of align your offerings with what your customers are doing and how much of that they want in terms of data and voice minutes and all that sort of thing. So it's important to listen to your
Absolutely.
customers at the end of the day.
100%. I mean, if you look at the evolution of customers' usage patterns and those type of things. So I think, when Shamil speaks about home connectivity and that being an integral part of our strategy, it all comes together because, customers require data for mobile use, but once they're in their fixed locations, if we're not playing in that space, you lose that revenue stream, and it goes to like the fixed network providers. And so, how do we consolidate and integrate that entire customer experience, and then bringing the other elements of what we spoke about, entertainment, bringing that also into the piece of consumption and user behaviors. So it's kind of integrating the entire proposition, creating differentiation in our offering, but yet, solving the problems for the customer and being able to deliver that value for the customer ultimately.
Yeah, and it's so interesting when you look at the entire value proposition. You mentioned entertainment, you mentioned fiber, the connection, your device. It's all happening through one service provider. So that's going to be interesting to see the evolution. Just out of interest, how do you and your team go about evaluating, what you're going to do next? Is it conversations you have with customers and conversations you have internally? Because to take what you've done and really simplify it to where it has today, there's been a lot of work that's happened in the background. How do you guys decide how to do this, and who does what, and who do you consult with, just out of interest?
So yeah, I think a big part of it, we talk to our customers regularly. We have our ears to the ground, understanding what are the pain points of customers, what are they looking for, what's the next evolution. But then research also, what's happening abroad, because Europe, the US, they kind of a season or two ahead of us, and so we kind of have an inkling of what's to come. So and it's okay. You copy with pride, right? And you understand what they're doing. It's just how you deliver better than what they've done. And so listening to our customers, seeing what resonates with our customers, and being able to bring what we're seeing in the markets abroad, and kind of delivering a proposition that resounds here locally with our customers. And so it's continuous, like I said, it's continuous iterations and understanding, listening, testing, A/B testing, big part of what we do. So yeah.
Wow, that's impressive, considering the customer base that you have at Vodacom and how many years Vodacom's been around. It's really part of that evolution, and listening to your customers and finding out what your customers are doing. So well
Absolutely.
done on simplifying things, and I look forward to even more simplification going forward. I think it's great, and it's a sign of some very exciting things that are going to be coming out of Vodacom. Rashid Tar-Mahomed, who is the managing executive of products and services and postpaid within the consumer business unit at Vodacom South Africa, a man who's got lots and lots of things on his plate. I thank you very much for joining us, Rashid. I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Aki. It's a pleasure.